Starting a photography business can seem totally overwhelming in the beginning. There's a million things to do and learn, and equipment, editing techniques to master. Then you step back and wonder if you're even doing any of this right, or are you wasting time and money on things that don't even matter in the long run? I get it, and I was there once, and it was completely overwhelming. I got really hung up on making sure I was doing it all the right way. While I did do a lot of things right, I also got stuck in research mode and didn't actually move forward in my business for a little while. But have no fear, my friends. Today I'm flipping back to the early days of my business and sharing the 5 things that I got right when I started my photography business. Tackle these things and you'll be up and running in no time at all. If you've already checked some of these items off your list, way to go. Keep up the good work and keep moving on.
Welcome to the Wise Photographer Podcast with your host, Chelsy Wise. Each week, Chelsy is bringing you the best tips and tricks to help you create a joyful, profitable, more purpose-filled photography business. Chelsy is a wife and mom of 2 who has built a thriving photography business in her tiny hometown in western North Dakota. Without further ado, here's your host, Chelsy Wise.
When you first get your camera, you're going to want to practice. Practice on your friends, your family, your dog. It's what everyone does when they first get a camera. But there comes a point when you decide that you're going to turn this into a business. You're going to exchange photos, whether they're digital or prints, for cash money. And that's amazing. You're about to enter the world of entrepreneurship. It's so fun, it's exciting, and it's sometimes terrifying at the same time. But to make this transaction, you gotta make it official with your state. And that means legally creating your business. I highly suggest starting off with the LLC, or a limited liability company, especially if you're going to be photographing people of any kind. An LLC is set up to protect you. If, heaven forbid, something crazy were to happen and you lost all the photos from a wedding, or someone were to get bitten by a snake after you told them to stand in some tall grass, and your clients decided to sue you, they could only go after your business and not other things like your house or other assets. For more information on LLCs and to learn what an article of organization is, you can head all the way back to episode number 18, where I sat down with Paige, who is the lead attorney at theshopcreativelaw.com. Oh, and you're probably going to want to grab a pen because Paige shared so much on that episode, you're going to want to take notes. Now, each state is a little bit different in the paperwork that they require to create your LLC, but a quick search on Google is going to get you headed in the right direction. Also, don't be afraid to give a call to your state too with any questions you might have. Once you have your business all squared away with your state, it's time to figure out precisely what you want to photograph, what you want to be known for photographing. This is called finding your niche. Your niche is basically narrowing your focus. You could be a newborn photographer, but you could niche down to a lifestyle newborn photographer who only shoots in clients' homes. You could be a wedding photographer who loves photographing tattooed brides, or maybe a beach destination wedding photographer. By narrowing your niche, you can be extremely specific of who your ideal client is. When you really nail down who your ideal client is, you can stop screaming to the masses and start speaking directly to the hearts of the people you are here to serve with your talent and your creativity. I did a deep dive into finding your niche all the way back in episode 2, but here are the basics to consider when trying to find out your niche. First, it's okay not to know right off the bat what you want to specialize in. You may need to try a few things to figure out what you like and what you don't like. If you think weddings might be your thing, then try second shooting a few. If you want to try food photography, try it. Remember, you don't have to share every single image you take. This allows you to try things and make mistakes. Once you find a subject that you like to shoot, start narrowing in on how you can carve out your own niche in the market. When you finally identify who your ideal client is, you want to get crystal clear on who they are and who they are not. Then you have the opportunity to start gearing your marketing and your branding to speak directly to them instead of screaming into the crowd, hoping someone's going to hire you. The next thing I did right in my business was curating my portfolio. I started pulling the best images from every shoot that I shot and uploading them into an online gallery titled Portfolio. This did a few things for me. First, it gave me a sudden boost of confidence because I could see all of my best work in one spot. I got to see exactly how I was growing as an artist. I was able to look back on the images and see what I did right or what I could improve on. This was almost a way of tracking my progress. You know when you first start working out and you're trying to lose weight, they tell you to take before and after photos? As human beings, we thrive on achieving goals. We get this nice little hit of dopamine, the happiness hormone, whenever we achieve something. Research has proven this time and time again that we are happiest when we're improving. By keeping all your portfolio images in one spot instead of scattered all around, you're able to see your progress. Another thing you can do is you can see if there's anything that you want to add to your portfolio. Take a step back and see what's missing. Do you always use the same 2 poses? Maybe you need to focus on learning more poses and create diversity in your galleries for your clients. When you take a step back and see something is missing, you have the opportunity to plan a portfolio building photo shoot. These shoots are designed to help you learn and grow as an artist. They can be used to brush off the dust at the beginning of a new season or practice a new technique that you're interested in learning more about. If you want to get more information about planning and executing a strategic portfolio building photo shoot, tune in to episode 28. One thing I did at the very beginning of my business was using a client management software program, also known as a CRM. I started using one almost right away out of the gate, and it made me feel and act like I had a legit business. Nearly a year ago, I switched companies, and I switched to a company called Honeybook. It took me a while to make the decision to switch since I had so much data stored with my other provider, but Honeybook made it super simple. Whatever client management system you decide to go with, it should be capable of doing a minimum of these things. You should be able to store contact information for all your clients, allow you to create questionnaires that clients can fill out and return to you, keep track of all of your emails back and forth in one spot, allow you to create and store email templates, allow your clients to sign contracts and book online, and accept payments online. Honeybook checks all of these boxes, plus it's super easy to customize with your branding colors and elements to provide your clients with a polished and professional look. Honeybook has a special offer for listeners of the Wives Photographer podcast. You can get 50% off your first year of Honeybook by going to honeybookwithchelsy.com. That's honeybookwithchelsy.com. Remember, that's going to get you 50% off your first year. All right. Now that you've got your business legit, you've got photos in your portfolio, and you've got a client management software up and running, it's time to make sure that you are getting the fullest use out of your camera. Did you know I was in business for 2 years before I ever upgraded to a full-frame camera? Yep, I did invest in a couple of full-frame lenses before I upgraded my body, but I wanted to absolutely master my camera before I ever upgraded it. This meant that I had to learn how to shoot in manual mode. You cannot fully become a photographer of any kind if you cannot master the basics of shooting in manual. I used to take my camera out for walks around the house, making sure I'd go into different lighting situations. I would go from a dark side of the room to a light side of the room and back again, practicing finding my settings quickly. Now my camera seems like an extension of my hand. I can set my settings before I even take a single test shot, but it took a lot of practice to get to that point. Don't rely on auto ISO or aperture priority. Make it a goal right now to learn how to shoot in full manual everywhere you go. Get to know your camera like the back of your hand. A camera is only as powerful as the person who's holding it. I promise when you finally figure it out and really understand how you can use your settings and manipulate them to take this idea for a photo and turn it into a real photo, you will be ecstatic. It's like unlocking this secret. It's incredible and wonderful and gives you the ability to stretch yourself as an artist. It can propel your business forward by leaps and bounds as well. So what are you waiting for? Make sure you're shooting in manual. You guys, that was so much fun looking back over memory lane in the early days of my business. Now, I certainly didn't do everything right, and I think everyone's going to make some mistakes along the way. But these 5 things really did set me up for success long term. They helped me to jumpstart my business, and I hope that seeing these things, we're going to do the same for you. If you're just starting to think about starting your own photography business, go ahead and grab the free download that I've created just for you with the 12 things that you need to start your photography business. You can grab this freebie by going to the show notes below. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. That's it for this week. I will see you next week. Thank you guys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Wise Photographer podcast. Dive into the show's notes for this episode and all past episodes at www.thewisephotographer.com. If you loved the show, share it with a friend. Thanks for tuning in, you Wise Photographer you.